Time now for another In the Legal Know with Vincent J. Russo. And Vincent is here today to talk about the Supplemental Security Income Program, SSI, and how it can be invaluable to parents who have a child with special needs. Vincent, so glad you're here today. Always,
pleasure.
really, but you know.
My pleasure. This is a situation where parents are so challenged and overwhelmed when they have a child with special needs. And there are so many different types of resources that are available. And so today I wanted to focus on one of them, and we're just going to scratch the surface. Supplemental Security Income, SSI. It's a benefit, a monthly stipend that can help a child with special needs with their living expenses. So SSI is for people with limited income and resources. It's actually broader than just for children. If someone is age 65 or older, blind, or have a disability, then they may be entitled to SSI benefits. So we're going to focus on the last group, which is have a disability.
Okay.
So if a child is under age 18 and has physical or mental impairments which limit their ability to live, and it's going to last more than 12 months, then they're considered disabled under this program.
Okay. How would a parent determine if they qualify?
Yeah. So I think it's a challenge, actually, because it's a determination under Social Security rules. So typically, what will happen is the parents will file an application for SSI benefits. And then there'll be a determination whether that child qualifies in terms of the disability criteria. And if not, then there's an appeal process. So it can get complicated. It starts with, you know your child, you know if they have a mental or physical impairment, it's medical records, it's seeing the doctor, and that plays into then filing for the SSI. And there's also an asset criteria, asset and income criteria. So it's in two parts. One is the disability, and the second is, do you meet the financial requirements?
And for these parents, the child can be any age.
That's correct.
Okay.
But we have different criteria. If under age 18, then it's how those impairments affect your ability to live. Once you reach 18, it's how those impairments limit your ability to work. So it's a different criteria, but same concept.
So how much could a child receive?
Okay, so let's look at that. There's a federal benefit, and for a person living alone, a child, if it's a young adult child living alone, it's a $943 a month check, a stipend that's paid out from Social Security. If they're living with others, it gets reduced to $628.67. Many states add an additional amount. So I'm showing New York on the right side, which says, well, if you're living alone, you can get up to $1,030. Almost all the states add a supplement, except for 4 states: Arizona, Mississippi, North Dakota, and West Virginia. So then those states, if you live there, you only qualify for the federal benefit.
Okay, you just talked about someone turning 18. So that age, that cutoff right there. Why is it important for them to qualify for these benefits?
Yeah, and this is really, really key. And I'll share a personal story here with my daughter Teresa when she was born. So she was born severely disabled, and people said, go to Social Security and apply for this SSI benefit. And what did I know? So I went down and applied. And then I found out that she was ineligible. She didn't have any assets. She didn't have any income. But I had assets and income. So when a child is under age 18, there's this concept of parental deeming. They deem the parents' assets as owned by the child when the child applies. So very difficult to get SSI for a child under age 18 if the parents have assets or income. Once that child reaches age 18, no deeming. The deeming stops. Even if they're still living in the home of the parents, the deeming stops. So that's a significant event, age 18. Parents need to make sure their child has under $2,000. and look at if they're getting any income, and then look to apply, or they may need to do some planning in advance of reaching age 18 so that they can get this benefit.
You know, and if something was hard for you to understand, how many other parents this has got to be so difficult? Let's talk about the a child SSI qualifying from Medicaid, right?
Yes, and so that's another important factor because we're talking about money, and money's important to help pay for living expenses. But what about medical care? What about health care, assistance with activities of daily living? So that's where the Medicaid program can come in. So in most states, when you qualify for SSI, you automatically are enrolled in the Medicaid program. In some states, if you qualify for SSI, they guarantee Medicaid, but you have to file. You have to take that extra step. And then in a small number of states, they don't guarantee it at all. But if you qualify for SSI as a general statement, you're going to qualify for Medicaid.
Okay, good.
The other thing about the stipend, and I don't want to miss this, there's this 1/3 reduction rule that people should be aware of. So that if someone is living at home and they're being supported for housing, then the SSI amount goes down 1/3. And so there are some planning strategies on how to not have that reduction, but that's a reduction. There was also a reduction for food, which is insane. So, some family member takes the child to McDonald's and they spend $30. It actually reduced the SSI check by $30. That rule is being thrown out September 30th of this year. It's an important change. It also kind of helps take some of the complication out of all these rules that are inside the SSI program.
So many rules. And you know what I love? You always offer resources on your website. So if anybody wants more information, where do they go for resources to help them?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. But first, I want to stress the parents should see a special needs attorney and get the proper advice. But they can come to our website for resources, vjrussolaw.com/guides. We have a special needs planning guide that can be very helpful.
Thank you very much. Boy, always the rules are so difficult. And we see the rules keep changing too.
That's right.
So, Vincent, thank you so much, as always.
Okay, my pleasure.